Thanks to Craig for calling in on his way to the airport, getting ready to fly out with the men's basketball team to go to Morgantown. Ty, you ever been to Morgantown?
I have not.
I've been to Morgantown. Have you been to Pittsburgh?
I have not been to Pittsburgh either.
Have you been anywhere on the East Coast?
Washington, D.C., New York City, South Carolina.
Okay. Where about in South Carolina?
I've been to Charleston, and then I can't remember the name of the island, but it's the one that's like across
the one
ferry
that's
trip
there.
from Charleston. Yeah.
Went to Myrtle Beach for Craig's wedding. That was nice. It's fun.
I hear that's a good party place.
Myrtle Beach,
college town.
Yeah, it's kind of like, the Destin area gets the nickname the Redneck Riviera, but to me that's really more what Myrtle Beach is. I found Destin to be a little more upscale is not the right word, but maybe a little classier, maybe a little cleaner than Myrtle Beach was. Myrtle Beach wasn't bad.
Is Myrtle Beach comparable to like South Padre? Same vibe?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. So I prefer, not just because of the drive, I'd prefer Port Aransas over South Padre.
Yeah, I'm that way as well.
I don't know. It's like once you get on the island, it just feels like you feel like you're disconnected from everything.
Well, I never realized that South Padre is like 7 hours away from here?
Yeah, it's a hike from here. Yeah, I think it's about 7, 6.5 or 7.
What, Port A's 3?
You can do. Well, now
Depends
that I
if
live
you
in
take
San
the
Marcos,
ferry or not.
Yeah, you can do Port 8 in 2.5. And depending on where you go, like if you get on 37 south of San Antonio, you can go 80 the whole way. It's nice. You can be down there pretty quick. Jeff Altai Henderson. This is Light the Tower on the Horn, live, local, and digital on the Horn app and at hornfm.com. Quick programming note. Mike Roach usually joins us on Friday. Mike's wrapped up in a few things, so won't be able to join us, but we'll still run everything down in the second hour, talk a little recruiting, get you ready for Texas Junior Day coming up tomorrow. Big day for Sark and company. Like we've said all week, man, the 2023 class outside of Deuce Robinson, it's pretty much done for Texas outside of transfer portal stuff, so they've already shifted focus to the class of 2024. But right now, let's go ahead and get to this hour's edition of the Longhorn Notebook. And it is a Longhorn Notebook brought to you by Erin Bowersock. BowersockTeam.com. She is your home loan expert. Let Erin do for you what she did for Craig and Linda when they made the move to Georgetown. Very easy, seamless process, no hassle. Craig has nothing but good things to say about the way things went with Erin Bowersock. BowersockTeam.com. She is your home loan expert. All right, the big news yesterday, A.D. Mitchell, the Georgia wide receiver, hit the transfer portal. We confirmed, I believe it was Inside Texas that reported it first. A couple other outlets, but we did confirm A.D. Mitchell was on campus yesterday. I think it's a formality at this point that he'll be joining the Longhorns. It was said that if he hit the portal, Texas was going to be the most likely destination. Maybe USC gets involved in there, but there's some family things that are he's originally from Missouri City. There's some family things that are bringing him back to Texas. So it looks like a formality at this point that A.D. Mitchell is going to join the class. And, he played more snaps than any other Georgia receiver as a freshman in 2021. 29 receptions, 426 yards, 4 touchdowns. Ankle injury this year kind of derailed it, but I think anybody that watched Georgia saw towards the end of the year played really, really well for the Bulldogs. 3 catches for 43 yards, and he had the game winner in the CFP semifinal in the Peach Bowl against Ohio State. Came on a 10-yard pass from Stetson Bennett to give Georgia that 1-point lead with 54 seconds to go. Ty, you remember that play, right? The touchdown, that Stetson Bennett touchdown pass to A.D. Mitchell at the end of the Ohio State game, and the Buckeyes couldn't make that field goal. Yeah, so A.D. Mitchell's a big-time player. And again, I've been talking all week. And you know what? Stoner mentioned this on the Specs text line yesterday. I think I don't want to harp too much on the receiver position because I ran down those unsavory numbers yesterday. But Stoner was asking me, hey, weren't you down on the receivers coming into the year? not as down as I was going into 2021. I felt like, losing Sam Ehlinger and breaking in a new quarterback, and just looking at how much things had changed, the fact that whatever I predicted initially for that 2021 group, Jake Smith was a part of that group. So all those things contributed to, I really thought and we saw pretty much with the exception of Brennan Eagles at times and Joshua Moore at times, that Texas group in 2020 really struggled to get separation. And that was a big point of emphasis that I know I talked about it. Rod Babers talked a lot about it. We talked a lot about it here on the station on the Longhorn Blitz podcast, wrote about it at Horns 24/7. I just felt like, I don't know. I was confident in Sark's offense, but just felt like that group didn't have any game breakers to it. And I think that played out to a great extent in 2021, with the exception of Xavier Worthy, who, I don't think anybody anticipated him having as big of a year, as impactful of a true freshman season as he had. So it was more 2021 that I was down on the receivers as opposed to coming into 2022. But the Isaiah Neyor injury, Ty, I don't know how you looked at it. That's kind of the X factor to me, because so much was expected of him. And my man Matt Butler made a great point on one of our recent Blitz podcasts. When you look at the role Isaiah Neyor was going to play as a guy who can stretch the field, beat a defense over the top, get vertical, you're down the field shot guy, make contested catches. Once he was out of the mix, now you had to pigeonhole Xavier Worthy into that role. And I think we all saw it play out. That's not really what he's best at doing. Can he be a vertical guy? Yes, but you really want him, in the short to intermediate passing game, making plays where he can catch the ball in space, make yards after the catch, make people miss, use his speed, use his elusiveness, use that short area quickness he's got, and make a guy miss and get vertical. And yards after the catch is his big thing, not necessarily catching contested shots down the field. So maybe if the A.D. Mitchell thing comes through, if Isaiah Neyor comes back off the injury, I know these are some big ifs. If the A.D. Mitchell thing comes through, if Isaiah Neyor is good coming back off the injury, you get Jordan Whittington back. You can now use Xavier Worthy a little more liberally, for lack of a better term, I guess you could say, in terms of doing more things with him rather than just being the vertical shot guy. I think if you're Sark, you can, and to Matt's point on the Blitz podcast, and I agreed with him 100%, Xavier Worthy was probably impacted more than anybody else by the Isaiah Neyor injury, just because of what it did to him within the flow of the offense. It changed his role, I think, more than it changed anybody else's. So if he can settle back into being that guy that you can move around and use more as a chess piece than just, hey, run a 9 route and see if you can go catch a football down the field, I think he'll be more effective. I think you'll see a better Xavier Worthy in 2023. I'm not ready to go all in and say this does need to be an offense that's focused 100% on positionless football, but it's not a bad thing for Sark to do more of that, because now you're going to have the pieces, especially with Keelan Robinson, Jordan Whittington, and Xavier Worthy. To me, those are the 3 pieces that you can move those guys around. You can line up in a 21 personnel grouping or an 11 personnel grouping, and with Jatavian Sanders, you can shift things around. Not all that different, Ty, than what we see the 49ers do, right? Dan Orlovsky, I know we talk about the 49ers a lot on Longhorn Blitz because of the relationship that Rod has with Kyle Shanahan, but I saw Dan Orlovsky do a great breakdown of, he was looking at the 49ers, their 21 personnel package, and between Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle, you can line up in 21 personnel. You can go with an empty backfield. You can go with 2 backs. You can go with 1 back. You can go doubles. You can go 3-by-1. There's so many different looks you can show because of the versatility of your pieces on the field. I think Texas, like I said, I don't think the offense needs to do that, and I don't think Sark will just go all in on that. But I think maximizing your offense, you need to do more of that, because it's the unknown right now. We don't know. And to an extent, we don't really know what Isaiah Neyor can do yet, but more of your proven commodities are in the passing game with Worthy, Whittington, Jatavian Sanders, and even some of those young guys that we saw flash a little bit last year, Casey Kane, Savion Red, and Brendan Thompson. they are more known commodities than what you've got at running back. You can say we've seen some stuff from Jonathan Brooks, but we haven't seen him really get a chance to be the guy. Cedric Baxter is going to get a chance to get himself in the mix this spring. Once we get through winter conditioning and Texas gets to spring football, we'll see a little bit about what Cedric Baxter can do. And running back, I say this all the time, man, running back is one of those positions. The best Texas running backs that I've seen, that I've heard about, that I've covered in my time around this program, they typically make a really big impact right off the bat. Like you start hearing buzz in camp about how those guys are doing. I think back to Cedric Benson when he got on campus as a freshman. Jamal Charles was the same way. Think about Malcolm Brown and Joe Bergeron when they were freshmen. Jonathan Gray, the same thing. Obviously with Bijan. Deontay Foreman was one. I remember Casey Studdard telling me about going out to practice and saying, hey, the 33 kid, he's got something. And lo and behold, Deontay Foreman left Texas as a 2,000-yard rusher and the Doak Walker Award winner. So if you start hearing really positive reports about Cedric Baxter during the spring, you could probably take it to the bank that he's going to be a really significant part of the rotation. And I think I'd like to see Jonathan Brooks get his shots too, because when they've given him the ball, he's done really well. He's made things happen. He's maximized runs. And you're going to need to continue to do that, because the thing I say about Bijan and Roschon, in different ways, they erased a lot of mistakes. If you were wrong up front, if you got something wrong in a blocking scheme, they could make you right. Bijan with his elusiveness and Rojo with just his power, his ability to get downhill. So as you start to figure out what you've got at running back, I think the advantage you have to show a defense multiple looks with the personnel you've got in the pass game, I think that can only help you. So I say all that to go back to the original point that A.D. Mitchell is on campus. And again, it seems like a formality at this point that he'll be a part of the Texas program at some point in the near future, but we'll wait and see for something official to come down on that. And tell you what, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll hit some of this, some more stuff that we've got posted. If you need some more details on A.D. Mitchell, and I encourage you to get over to Horns 24/7 and check out the insider piece that's got Chip Brown's byline on it. I think that's our lead story right now. I'll also share some insider tidbits coming up in hour number 2. We'll get to some more in the Longhorn Notebook. We need to take a break right now. Coming up next, as we do each and every Friday, Inconceivable will close out hour number 1. We're going to grab that low-hanging fruit from the Sunshine State. We'll go down to Florida here. An Inconceivable on Light the Tower on the Horn, live, local, and digital, on the Horn app and at hornfm.com. All right, got a couple of details. Got one story I actually want to get to before we get to some Florida stuff. Ty, are you real quick? By the way, I promised yesterday that we would bring back Hobby Friday at least for one Friday, and Ty and I are going to rip some football cards coming up at the top of hour number 2. Ty, have you heard about this controversy surrounding the Babe Ruth Topps definitive card?
I have not heard about that one.
All right, actually, it was I can't recall if it was definitive or luminaries. Basically, there is a Topps Luminaries. So it's one of Topps's big baseball releases of the year, really, really high-end product. And one of the chase cards in there was a 1-of-1 Babe Ruth cut autograph. Now, this card has been pulled, had been sold for $17,500. There's one problem with this card. Many Babe Ruth autograph experts have looked at this card, and they can tell right away that's not a legitimate, authentic Babe Ruth autograph. It looks like a secretarial autograph.
So it's the secretary.
It is a secretarial signature. So
how does it get to that point where it's on the card and they're figuring it out now?
Somebody at Topps didn't do their homework.
Quality control.
Or at Fanatics, I guess. Yeah, didn't do their homework. So yeah, somebody forked over $17,500 for a Babe Ruth cut auto that was not actually signed.
And you can't get that money back
by the Bambino. Right? I would guess, Tyrus, we're going to litigation on this one, or Topps needs to make it right or something. I don't know. But again, that's why I don't deal in high-end stuff. I like it cheap. That's just fine with me. All right, Ty, I'm going to give you producer's choice here. Do you want Snake almost getting on a plane? We might have done that story this week, but I don't really remember if we did or not. Snake getting on a plane. You want a case of necrophilia, or yoga instructor injured by an iguana? Where do you want to? Can we start with the corpse issue?
Sure.
We need a palate cleanser at the end. So be thinking Snake on a plane or yoga instructor injured by an iguana. From Dateline, Escambia County. By the way, Ty, can you tell me the two most famous residents in the sports world from Escambia County, Florida?
Where is that in Florida?
Pensacola.
No, I can't.
Roy Jones Jr. and Emmett Smith.
Okay.
Both from Escambia County. Just file that away if you ever need to win a bar bet or something. Florida deputies say they tracked down a man believed to have been caught. Parents, if you got the kids in the car, I'll give you 5 seconds for earmuffs or turn the sound down, whatever you need. 4, 3, 2, 1. Florida deputies said they tracked down a man believed to have been caught sexually abusing a corpse. According to the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, a co-worker told deputies he walked in on the man abusing the corpse. Employees inside the Oak Lawn Funeral Home would not speak on camera, but they said they are cooperating with the investigation. Tim Brown, not the former Heisman winner, Dallas Woodrow Wilson product, Notre Dame standout. Tim Brown was not him. Tim Brown was finalizing plans for a parent's funeral when he saw deputies at the funeral home and was stunned to learn why. Quote, "That does give me second thoughts. My mom was here," end quote. By the time the deputies arrived on Tuesday morning, the suspect was gone. Deputies said when they attempted to track him down, he was found near his car. Oh boy, dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Employees were not confirming whether there are cameras inside the funeral home. They would also not talk about the suspect's employment history. So to say that is unsavory, Ty, does not do justice to the word unsavory. All right. You want Snake almost getting on a plane or iguana hitting yoga instructor?
Iguana yoga.
All right. For 14 years, yoga instructor Anna Margaret Sanchez has taught a free community class at Legion Park in Miami's Upper East Side neighborhood. Sounds good. A free yoga class. You come out and get your stretch on. It started with 20 people and grew over time to the point where attendance can easily top 100, and regulars have braved hurricane watches and COVID-19 lockdowns to meet under the oak trees on Saturday morning. Sanchez live streams the session, so those who can't make it in person can participate on Instagram. The first Saturday of 2023 drew an especially large crowd. The weather was lovely, and only 7 days into the new year, resolutions still glinted with potential. Trigger warning, you won't believe what happened next. The class proceeded as usual for 47 minutes. Breathing exercises, upward and downward dog, warrior triangle, and seated stretching poses. As always, Sanchez concluded by instructing everyone to roll on their backs, lift their hips, and begin to look inward. It was then that a series of noises, tree branches rustling, a loud thud, and gasps ensued. Guys, I think we're going to have to close the class. Sanchez can be heard saying on the Instagram live recording, I'm going to take care of someone who just got an iguana dropped on his face. That someone would be Michael, who agreed to speak with the Miami New Times on the quite understandable condition that we not publish his last name. Quote, I don't want to be the guy who got known as the guy whose face was used as an iguana landing pad. As Michael tells it, one moment he relaxed on his back and with his shade hat covering his face, prepared for the final resting pose. And the next, he's in excruciating pain, bleeding, and unable to open his eyes. Quote, I didn't see it coming. It felt like a sandbag hit me in the face. The first thing that went through my head was it must have been a coconut, but there were no coconut trees. Then when I thought maybe the guy next to me slugged me, but I mean, we're in a yoga class. It's so calm and peaceful. Why would he hit me? Everyone nearby had their eyes open at the fateful moment, and they were later informed Michael that his assailant was a green iguana weighing between 20 and 30 pounds. There's a giant iguana that is king of that frickin' park. I've seen it chase squirrels, Sanchez elaborates. So, Ty, how would you like that? You're just getting your stretch on in the park. You lay down on your back. You're ready to wrap up this nice session and get an iguana just jumping on your face.
I think that would be a sign to me that I might need to pick up a new hobby.
Have you ever been attacked by an animal, Ty?
A goose when I was younger. It was chased.
A goose? How'd that work out?
No, I'm not a big fan of big birds anymore.
I don't know if I've ever been attacked by an animal. I mean, there's been snakes, they threaten
I've been
you,
bitten by dogs.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough. You never had like a ram or something like that charge you or anything? Never been in the wild and had to like
No, I didn't. I've never had to Bo Jackson a bear. Or anything
overtake the animal that most intrigues me in and around our Fairburg, which is the feral hog. You never had an encounter with the feral hog?
I've been pretty close to a hog right before.
You ever trapped a hog?
Yeah.
Seen a hog trap?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you cook on a pellet grill, and everybody texted in to let me know that kind of took away your man card.
No, I have a Hungarian pig I'm actually smoking this weekend.
All right. So everybody, Ty does trap hogs and does some stuff that could make up for the pellet grill incident. Just give him a break. Text in on the Specs text line, 337-3776. Let us know if that's worthy of getting the man card back. All right, so last month, a woman traveling through Tampa International Airport attempted to stow her boa constrictor in her carry-on luggage, according to the TSA. A TSA tweet shows the X-ray of the 4-foot creature that passed through the screening machine. Passengers must navigate before getting through the gate. The reptile lit up orange, coiled up into a figure 8. I see the images. It's like hanging out next to a pair of shoes. You know what the reasoning was, Ty, for the snake trying to get passed on through the carry-on luggage?
No, what was it?
The woman told guards her boa constrictor. The boa constrictor's name is Bartholomew, by the way. Named after Bart Simpson, perhaps. I don't know. Named Bartholomew was, quote, her emotional support pet. Have you seen people on planes like unusual support animals?
Rabbits. I've never seen it, but I've heard stories.
Or like people that have the emotional support dog, and you're like, there's no way that's an emotional support dog. Yeah, the snake was her emotional support pet. Quote, our officers at Tampa International Airport didn't find this hysterical, said the TSA post, which explained that her airline was notified and neither she nor Bartholomew was allowed to fly. She almost had a monkey fighting snake on that Monday to Friday plane, but thankfully for TSA, it was not avoided. If that snake got out on my flight, I would need a new pair of pants before landing, and somebody's compensating me in some way, shape, or form for a snake getting loose on a plane. 4-foot snake, 4-foot boa constrictor. Not happening, sir. Not happening. Not happening for me at all. All right, that's going to do it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 coming up next here on Light the Tower, on the Horn, live, local, and digital, on the Horn app and at hornfm.com. Hour number 2 of Light the Tower on the Horn. Live, local, and digital on the Horn app and hornfm.com. Jeff Howe, Ty Henderson. Craig Wade not here. Craig is on his way to Morgantown. Texas men taking on West Virginia on the road tomorrow. 4:30 pregame, 5 o'clock tip. You can hear that here on the Horn and across the Austin Radio Network. And then Craig will be on the call Sunday in Waco for the Texas women taking on Baylor. That is a 4:30 pregame. I'm sorry, 3:30 pregame, 4 o'clock tip. That's going to be on 105.3 The Bat, your home for Texas women's basketball. All right, we'll get to the Specs text line, get to talk some NFL playoffs before we get back into talking a little Longhorn football. Can't talk enough Longhorn football, but we got to have a little Hobby Friday right now. Tyronius, you want to rip first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. We got some prestige football. Picked these up at HEB. And you know what was great about these, Ty? They were marked like $14. I was like, okay, that's a little. Now they rang up at like $6.98. So I was like, sweet, it's a win for me.
There we go.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this, but we're looking for Brock Purdy, perhaps Kenny Pickett.
Should I just go through the?
Yeah, run it down. What do you got?
We got base Carson Palmer, Rashad Bateman, Zach Martin, Jim Kelly,
Nice.
Jared Goff, Robert Quinn, Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford. Flip it around here: Mike Gesicki, Patrick Mahomes, Mac Jones.
Oh, this is not bad.
Rashawn Slater, Davis Mills, Josh Jacobs.
At least second-year cards.
Trey Lance.
Some more second-year stuff.
Xavier McKinney, Boston Scott, Antonio Gibson.
More second-year. Good Lord.
Usually the rookies are at the back, though, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sterling Shepard. All right, here we go.
You at the rookies?
We got a Jaquan Brisker rookie.
Okay.
In the college uniform, Penn State.
Yeah.
Zion Johnson rookie.
Okay.
Jamison Williams rookie.
There's a decent hit.
Travis Jones, defensive tackle for Baltimore rookie. Ooh, here's a little variance here. Andrew Thomas. That's not a rookie, though.
No.
Second year. Drake Jackson rookie.
Okay.
Mike Evans, prestigious. Tom Brady, any given Sunday with the score against the Falcons on there.
Okay.
Pretty cool card. Roquan Smith and a Living Legends Randall Cunningham. It's a pretty cool card.
You know, I hate the Eagles. I love me some Randall Cunningham, though. Back in the day, QB Eagles on Tecmo Super Bowl was unstoppable. I will motor on through the base cards here. I don't want to bore anybody. I'll check out the base cards. Let's see if I got anything. I don't see any parallels, nothing numbered. Okay. We'll get back to the Specs text line here in just a minute. Yeah, this is all going to be veteran base. All right, here we go. We got some rookies. We got Isaiah Likely, Sauce Gardner.
It's a good one.
Desmond Ritter, Devontae Wyatt. What is that? That's some kind of Marcus Mariota parallel. Got a Breece Hall extra points parallel looking thing. Okay. Highlight reel Mark Andrews. Prestigious Levante David. Any given Sunday, James Harrison. And I got the same Randall Cunningham card you got. So there you go. All right. Not terrible. Not terrible. You think we got our $7 worth on that, Ty?
If you listed every one of these cards on eBay, I bet we can make a little bit of money.
All right, so there it is. Some people wanted us to bring back Hobby Friday. Probably my best is going to be that Breece Hall Sunburst right there. Yeah. So I'll pull that up for everybody to see on Twitch right there. Didn't get any of the quarterbacks. Man, I didn't think if you looked at Brock Purdy pricing, Ty, we'll talk some NFL playoffs right here because there's no other place we can get it in. Are you amazed at like Brock Purdy pricing, how insane it's gotten?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw that with like Bailey Zappi earlier in the year when he got that 1 or 2 starts he got midseason.
When you sold that Bailey Zappi card for like $1,500.
Well, I got it after. They were worth more before that.
Oh, did you really?
But yeah, I mean, when I try to explain it to someone, like the whole hobby, if you're trying to sell or buy, it's kind of like the stock market.
Pretty much.
Where if a guy's having a big Sunday, you could hop on eBay and see people listing cards for way above what they're valued just because. You know, that's the way I do it. If I see a guy's balling out, maybe he's a rookie, I'm like, oh, let's just look him up on eBay and see what his cards are looking like. And almost always people are taking advantage of that on there.
Question says, Jeff, how do y'all decide who gets which cards? Ty's free to keep whatever he opened, and I don't know, Ty. You want to keep them? You want to leave them here for somebody else? Whatever you want to do with them, it doesn't matter to me.
I'll add them. I'll add them to my collection.
Okay, good stuff. I might check out that Brees Hall Sunburst, see what that's going for. It's a nice little hit right there. All right, Ty, let's talk some NFL players. Ty, can you give me some NFL films, music, or something? I just don't want to talk over dead air. All right, we're doing this on the
Just give
fly.
me 1 second.
Yeah, I don't really care what it is. Just something where I feel like I could hear John Facenda's voice in the background. Would be nice. There we go. Let's talk some NFL playoffs, Ty. Jaguars at the Chiefs. It's going to be a 3:30 game on Saturday, tomorrow on NBC. Ty, do you give the Jags any chance?
I think their luck is run out at this point. Arrested. Luck is run out at this point. Arrested